hurts me to say this, but in the past 7 years, I was chasing a version of success that wasn't 100% mine. Yes, I'm a yogi, yes, I studied psychology, and yet there are always new things that we learn and uncover about our own self. More about this in a bit. Welcome to this new video, part 2, today. Part 1, I shared it last week, I will link it somewhere above. If you missed it, I was talking about how you might feel lost, especially in your 20s, and a lot of pressure on yourself, and my perspectives that might help you to feel more at peace. So if you want to check this one out before now, in part 2, I will speak a little bit more about the process of letting go, which is also truly important in order to live a life that feels like meaningful and fulfilling and makes us happy. Because very often, if we don't feel happy, like something is off, or these feelings of frustration and lack of motivation, excitement, very often come from chasing versions of success that are not truly ours. Or maybe we look successful on the outside, but we don't really feel good deep inside of us. And to maybe help you a little bit also see this in yourself or understand yourself better, I would like to share a small glimpse into my very own personal story and something that I was uncovering in my own self with the help of Yoga Nidra and other mindfulness tools. It was a very, say, uncomfortable awakening, but I think it's still better than to keep going on autopilot and wake up one day, maybe when I'm 70 years old or when you're 70 years old, and then look back and be like, oh no, what did I do? Did I just waste my whole life? This is why I really love mindfulness and to grow this awareness as early as we can, because we just can't take back our time anymore. I don't say this to give you a sense of pressure, just a little reminder. So in 2019, I went to university to study psychology because I was really passionate about helping people. Before that, I was working in a gym. I saw people struggling with their body, how they were eating, trying to change it, always falling off the wagon and failing again and again. And I realized the programs there, they weren't really helping this woman, but because I really wanted so badly to help them to love themselves and their body and have healthy relationship with food and look in the mirror and feel good about themselves, I then decided to study psychology and neuroscience. I thought this would be, the way. And it did help me to help some women, as well as when afterwards I started my first business. So working with women and helping them did have some positive impact as well. I got really nice feedback and testimonials from women making more peace with food and their body, healing their emotional eating step by step a little bit more, and no longer binging in the evening with all this food and feeling bad about themselves, but instead, creating more peace, feeling better in their clothes on pictures when they look in the mirror. Amazing, I know, but there was a problem, because in the beginning I was very passionate and driven and excited. At some point I got confused though, because the more inner work I did with myself, with Yoga Nidra, with a mentor, all these things, the more I lost this spark. And I was like, this is weird. Like, why? Like, do I have to maybe change my state, hype myself up more? So I did all kinds of strategies to get more excited again, which didn't really work until it took me months and months and months until I realized that maybe I didn't have to change myself so much in order to fit into the, let's say, business model I had created, but rather had to reshape my idea around helping people and making an impact, and find a more aligned vehicle for that, because I realized that a lot of my desire to help came from the wounded healer, which I also touched upon in an earlier video, I think. So yeah, many of us who grow up when we're children, and we might, be strong for our parents, we might listen to their problems, support them and be there, and have always this open ear, just trying to help and stepping into the identity of the helper, the rescuer, the caretaker. Very often as we grow up, we still carry this identity inside of us, and then building our career out of this, this identity, building our business, for example, like in my case, where we think perhaps this is what I want, but maybe this is what the identity we have inside of us wants. It's almost like a trauma bond between this wound and the business. In my case, at least, where I felt really responsible for other people. Like, I had to solve their problems, I had to help them, be there for them, and available, and was taking their responsibility so much on my own shoulders, until my nervous system was really crumbling more and more. I had so many headaches, from tension, sometimes 5 days a week, still trying to push through, was getting really tired, started drinking coffee. Also got some problems with my digestive system, with my skin. I had really bad eczema on my hands. I got sick all the time, especially whenever I wanted to, launch something and help more people. I was magically getting sick, just before, and then losing my momentum. And now I know that it's because I was trying to serve from the wrong place. And now I understand that I was really getting so attached and so afraid to let go. And there's also a name for it in psychology. We call it the sunk cost bias or fallacy, which I bet you might spot in yourself as well. That if we invest so much time and energy into something, then it's really, really hard to stop it. We subconsciously want to keep going because we invested so much in it already, which I had done for 7 years. And then when I stopped and decided to let this go and really empty myself and detach, it felt like such an emotional process. It's letting go. There were disappointment, sadness. I felt also a lot of grief as well, and a little bit bad of myself for not making it. But I truly believe in alignment, that it's more important to have a life that's aligned with our true self and essence, rather than just to achieve and chase the standards that other people set for us. And what I also came to realize then is that only because we outgrow something, it doesn't mean that we failed at it. It's still so many skills that we have learned, and the person that we have become, it wasn't all for nothing. And yet I think the self-honesty is very, very important. To pause in your journey and really listen to your body, to your intuition, tune into your heart. Because some flowers out there, so to speak, they might just no longer have nectar for us. And it's where the bees come in. Again, still my bee sting that changed my life. So I hear that a bee can actually tell if a flower had been visited recently or not by some changes in the electric charge of a flower. How can we apply this to us? So I feel like we humans, we tend to keep landing on the same flower, our old version of ourselves, our old habits, our old job, our old relationship patterns, all these things, and pouring into it because it's familiar to our nervous system, but doesn't mean that it still is the best for our own growth and happiness to keep doing so. So we can easily waste our energy and resources on these flowers that I just mentioned, even though it doesn't really give us back like the spark, the purpose, the fulfillment, anything. So this is especially the case if something is really attached to our identity or self-image, and then it's super hard to let it go, even though if we would let go we might suffer less, because then we allow ourselves to break free and be flexible and check out other flowers out there, because if you always land on the same flower it prevents you from seeking out other flowers and looking into other options and exploring other ways of living and being that might give you so much more like happiness and peace in your life. So my human design is a 1-3 generator, which means I learn a lot through experimenting, trial and error, flying on all the kinds of different flowers and really feeling into those. And this could be similar for you as well. Because through experiments we gain a lot of data and information, which I touched upon also in the previous video more. And that's also why I believe that like going a little bit into the wrong direction or losing my path, it was never a bad thing. It gave me information and also put me into this position where I'm now able to listen more to my heart and I'm more connected to my Sankalpa, which is like a desire or intention born from our heart, can be similar to our purpose. I also made a video where I'm explaining a little bit more about it, and also meditation if you would like to explore yours, which I will also link above. So this was also really my intention with this video, to remind me to listen to your own heart, to tune into your own body and feel what gives you the spark or aliveness, and also to have the permission, no need to ask for it, but this is your permission, stop waiting for it. But if something just doesn't give you any aliveness, excitement, purpose, nothing, then stop going back to this flower again and again and again. The permission you don't need, here it is. You are free to also explore other flowers. I know it's not always easy because our subconscious loves familiarity so much. When we go out of it into the unknown, it's very often scary and like, oh my god, we don't know what's out there. And then we are tempted to go back to those old familiar flowers that we know. They might not make us happy, but at least they're familiar. So just maybe be aware of this and know that the first few steps are the hardest, but over time it will get easier and easier. And if you really don't know where to start, here's a little question to maybe ask yourself, like, what if tomorrow everyone would have forgotten who you are? Like, there's no more reputation, there's no more expectation, judgments, like nothing left from the outside world. What would you start doing and what would you immediately stop doing? Maybe like to take a moment and reflect a little bit about that, because honestly, you deserve to feel good, to stay true to your own beautiful self and uncover, explore, create the version of success that feels good to you inside, no matter if it doesn't look good to other people. The most important thing is that it feels good to you, and that you look back at the end of your life and be like, I'm freaking proud of myself. And also here's your reminder, you deserve to be happy, healthy, and free. Okay, don't forget that. And in the next video, I will talk a little bit more about the hive around us, like our people, our community, because they also impact so much and so deeply whether we will be like happy, successful, fulfilled, all these things. Maybe you also heard the saying that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I would like to dive deeper into this soon. And until then, sending you lots of love from Greece. And see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here.